let's put the finishing touches on the hip flasks. Constantine, can you please start transferring the leftover amasec? These guardsmen ought to take a shine to it. What with the sheer level of Manufactorum propaganda they already drink up. Perhaps I could finish the engraving with a las carbine for authenticity. Yes. One of our guests has decided to visit. Welcome. I do hope you are well. Today we're taking a little side trip to Gideon Secundus, a stalwart little rock among the Emperor's celestial menagerie. We'll be delivering some well-needed essential supplies to the local guard regiment. Scully, show the guest our fine wares, please. If there is one thing I've learned from across the Imperium, it is that if there is a want, there is a way. Such is the life of a humble merchant. We will be meeting with their transport soon, after which, of course, you can go and enjoy the sights of Gideon Secundus. And I shall greet you in person soon. Until then, please enjoy the comforts of your cabin. Alright, Scully is gone. Go ahead and turn off the bloody projector. Yes, and now the lights, please. The lights? Oh, for God's sake. Constantine, will you get Scully to please turn the lights on? I don't have time for this all day. Oh, yes, he's still here. We are now on approach to the Imperial Guard convoy. Please bring us into station keeping with the lead vessel. Cargo bays, prepare yourselves. Go ahead and open a Vox channel, please. Well met, fine Imperial vessel, and hopefully you are doing quite well. May the Emperor's blessings be upon you and the fine men and women who fight in our names. Oh, give it over, merchant. We're not interested in any of that crap. Just go ahead and beam over the booze, will you? It's been bloody Imperial hours. Oh, but of course, right away. Beam the first container over, please. This'll do. Well, now, I'm sure you have a valid trading license. Constantine, get us out of here! Bloody hell, they're gaining on us! Constantine! Detonate the insurance policy, now!
Torpedo warhead critical. Explosion imminent. Brace for impact.
We need to get out of here immediately! Prepare the emergency warp jump!
Attention. Imperial escort in pursuit. Estimated time to boarding range 1 minute.
We don't have a minute! Punch the reactors right now! Merchant ships, stand down and prepare to be boarded. Overload the drives! Merchant ship, do not attempt to disengage. I repeat, do not attempt. Hello there, please don't mind anything that's going on above. We're just having a little bit of warp turbulence, that's all. If you'd like to just go ahead and use the archives in your cabins, I'm sure everything will be fine. We'll arrive at our destination. Anyway, yes, just go ahead and have a nice trip. Thank you very much.
Accessing archive file 202655142038. Returning to last known bookmarked position. Initiate Vox Reminiscence Protocol. Have a nice day. At least you're not the one bolted to the wall.
The sting of the torture remained. Bale had tried to choke himself on the virulent acid secreted by his own Betcher's gland, only to realize that this too had been removed. Only the froth in his mouth was left, a foul mixture of ruptured blood vessels and stomach bile. Exhausted and still twitching, Bale's head cowed down as the interrogator spoke. To serve him is an honor and a service to us all. You knew that once, before you and your kin turned against his dream. With a pained drawing of breath, but a determination common to nearly all Space Marines, Bale replied with surety. The rebellion was inevitable. We thought that we were all fighting a diluted version of his dream. But too late we realized that his dream was one of absolute power and control. And he never truly trusted us. Every action he took reeked of coercion and stolen power. What he could not rule, he buried. And what he did not want to bury, he hoarded for himself. Great hidden tombs of power, sealed in vaults such as the librarium, for his eyes only. Don't you understand? We could have all been so much more. He told us lies about the nature of things, hid from us the truth of the immaterium. He created legions under his banner, never to be free, destined to die for his purposes. And now I am persecuted for liberating just some of the wealth that he left to rot. You are charged for your treachery and theft. You and your kind perverted his great work. He dreamed of unity and peace, a vision of humanity reigning supreme over the darkness, pushing back the old night of ignorance and fear. Your refusal to be patient and to follow his ageless wisdom nearly cost us everything. Ignorance and fear? No, human. He crafted an empire of ignorance by design, one that you now maintain. One day beyond our lifetimes, he will do as he always intended and reign supreme as God among men. He will reap the harvest of works that he claimed so much to protest against, but from which he himself seeded by my liege lord. He will forever call upon his servants, such as all my scorned brothers, our people who he made into weapons of war, pawns and tools to be applied in his great schemes. Do you know just how many worlds were subjugated by threat alone? Do you know how the Ninth became so known for their butchery that whole systems cowered back into compliance at the mention of their name? A reputation well earned for the terror they burned across the stars, with his tacit sanction. And Kurz was not the only champion of his oppression now. The Wolf King, his executioner, Horus, his conqueror, Gilliman, his bureaucrat, Lorgar. The thought of his Primarch rattled him. All semblances of control and restraint had left him, as his mind reeled in circles of hatred. We were slaves with bolt guns, and I see that now. And what did we do? We blindly followed a fool who venerated him in all of his glory. We built monuments and temples to their names, and for what? He pushed me to the brink on Monarchia like a scolded infant, while our bigger brother took the brunt of his wrath. And to feel sorrow for the very fool who drove us to this humiliation. Imagine the sickness required to put down your greatest son, To be jealous of your own creation who is outdoing you in your own perverted pursuits of power. The word-bearer paused, his head swimming, realizing his lost composure and trying to retain some dignity. We have laid the foundations for something far worse to come. It is my greatest regret. Mark my words, you have not yet seen the last of the Emperor's perversions. The Emperor's will is beyond you and your kin, Bale. His truth was what would make us free. You speak of liberation, but you and your kin do nothing to advance mankind. A rage built within the word-bearer. We sought to restore the balance and give the strong their chance to rule their own lives. I know this much, that the rebellion was one of the greatest favors that we've ever done for him. Oh, for all his arrogance and repression of lesser warlords, he could not predict the ambitious rise of his own. And so, knowing this, he forced a confrontation designed to end in a stalemate. To buy himself time to become the very worst thing this galaxy has ever seen. Oh, but you are not ready for my truth, no. But by the very nature of your word, you will cause it to seek out one day like I did the truth, and you will have to be faced with the same damned choices. Bale looked into the reflection of the interrogator's mask, and saw his own weathered, hollow expression looking back at him. Where are the scrolls, Bale? I took them to become a master of my own destiny. Yes, I broke away from my legion and I forged my own path. I became free. To live like you is not enough. You are cattle. Better to be the shepherd. Chaos gives us the power to choose our own destiny. And all we must do in return is give thanks. The price of your supposed freedom is hideous. Mutation, the debasement of our form, and obsessions with degenerate base pleasure and sadistic torment. You became less than human. You threw in your lot with traitors, and became a devoted slave to psychic effluence. Your justifications are merely a means of dispersing your own guilt. If you truly believe you have control, then you will spare yourself now. Where are the scrolls? Seeing the interrogator's data slate set for the next level of torment, Bale relented. They were offered in the great temple of Kuladesh. To which of the Chaos deities was the temple's patron? Bale smirked wryly. You acknowledged them. The interrogator reached out for his data slate again, but the word-bearer jolted in his restraints and began raving in desperation. Zench! Zench! On a world called Ferensko in the neighboring system. Only 2 remain intact. The others were merely baubles that could not be opened, sealed with ruins. The interrogator stepped back and pressed a series of glyphs. The spikes retracted into the walls, while the tension in his restraint slackened. The noxious yellow haze that had been pouring above him ceased. Bale's senses were still reeling from the torture. This information will be verified. Until then, you will remain here. If you have any more information of value to share, then your present living conditions may improve. Do you have anything more to say? With a conflicted sense of righteousness and self-loathing, Bale attempted to justify himself. I sought only freedom, and to become the master of my own affairs. The only lies I'm a party to are those that I am willing to accept. I have subjugated many, the strong and the weak, allies and traitors alike. They have knelt beneath my blade, and they all died the same. Power and its application are the essence of control. He understood that when he bridled the legions. But I rejected him. And I rejected Lorgar. And then I willingly ceded some of their stolen power to the Great Ones, so that I may live as my own man. I have experienced freedoms greater than any Imperial alive today. And ultimately, I will become part of the Great Ones as their honored messenger. My regrets will dissolve, and my actions will be vindicated. With a hint of venom, the interrogator uttered a name. Sister Cariana Bale. Despite himself, the Marine felt a pang of shock and went quiet. She might be one to disagree with you, word bearer. I will return. With a cold rage burning within, Bale began raving and spat another curse. May you forever propagate sand, Imperial scum! Charming, word bearer. But we've also removed your progenoid glands and burnt them. It is you who will beget no heir. The airlock cycled again as the interrogator left the corridor. The dim lights of the lumospheres became dimmer still, until Bale was left, cold and alone in his cell. A faint whimper called out in the darkness.
For the Emperor, 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 for the Emperor. For the Dark Gods. For the Emperor, for the Emperor, for the Emperor.
Okay, so we couldn't crack the guard, but I know that this trade will go through, so make like the ecclesiarchy and have faith! Oh, God, Emperor, this fake beard is itching like the Wolf King's ass! Oh, Feth, quiet! Here they come! Greetings, Brother Forge. Your astropathic communique was gleefully received. Have you brought the clerical enhancers? Greetings, gentle... brothers. I bring you the finest consecrated spirits, guaranteed to alleviate the rigors of a hard day's prayer. Have you brought the agreed-upon fee that we may use to better the Emperor's work and his fine domains? Yes, brother. We are collecting the last of our parishioners' contributions and tithes. It should be with us soon.
Tithe, 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 tithe.
And as I said to the ecclesiarch, that's not the archdeacon, that's my wife. Borderline heresy, yes. Very amusing. It seems that we have our collection. Perhaps we could now receive the last of the shipment. Thank you, brother. Your efforts will not be forgotten. Yes, likewise, it has been a wonderful... yes, a wonderful transaction, brother. May peace and the Emperor's spirits guide you well in your prayers. Oi! Wait a bloody minute! This stuff tastes like Grok's piss! I love it! Bloody hell, let's get out of here before they burn us for being too faithful or something.
Brothers, a single Marine has enjoyed the mind cleansing. We found this illustration in his cell. By the Emperor! It's a masterpiece.